Tak ada nih, tak ada yang apa? Mana nih semua nih? Okay lah, we next. Ya, about the energy storage. Ya, energy storage. Ya, I explain first. Ya, storage means store lah ya. Nah, so the energy storage we can define as the capture. Ya, I say capture lah. Capture the energy produced in one time. Ya, to be used to the other time or to be used to next time. Ya, this one it is energy storage. Ya, nah so kalau if we discuss about the energy storage, ya what the type of energy storage ya surrounding us. Ada siapa-siapa yang boleh explain? Yang simple aja lah. Energy storage yang very simple di persekitaran kita atau sebetulnya selalu kita guna. For example,
Power bank.
Power bank atau bateri. Ya, Aiman ya. Nah, itulah dia. Nah, bateri, power bank. Kalau power bank ini kan kalau tak di-charge 1 hari aja macam mana? Aiman aja pun guna terus kan ya, Aiman? Nah, tengok YouTube kah, tengok WhatsApp kah, ya, tengok mana apa lagi. Ya. Nah, itu kan dia di-charge bateri. Nah, dalam 1 hari kita pun kalau kita boleh kira berapa kali kita kena cucukkan dia punya charger. Maknanya itu kalau dia cucuk, charge, store, langsung guna. Ya, kalau bateri-bateri yang biasa lah, kita charge hari ini, kita lepaskan fully charge, kita pun nak guna bila, ya silakanlah. Nah, itu example the type of energy storage in our surrounding ya, battery. Ya, itu ya, Aiman ya. Oke, terima kasih Aiman. Okay, so I read first ya. Energy storage is the capture of energy produced at one time to be used at the next time. Nah, this one ya. Contoh tadi lah. Classification of energy storage technology. Ya, the type is electromechanical. Ya, it is pump hydro compressor. And then electromagnetic supercapacitor, and after this we discuss about the super conductive magnetic energy storage. Yeah, and then electrochemical hydrogen, battery, this one. Thermal storage, sensible heat, latent chemical heat, thermal in here, and also combination of the electrical chemical, same like the fuel cell, same like this one. Okay, now so we discuss about this all, the type of the energy storage. Means this energy storage can be classified in this 1, 2, 3, 4 types. Okay, we want to know the first type, electromechanical, pumping hydroelectric storage. I read first. Its operating principle is based on the managing the gravitational potential energy of water by pumping it from a lower reservoir to another reservoir while consuming power from the grid, or by the releasing water from the upper reservoir to the lower one when energy needs to be injected in the grid. Look at this figure. This pump hydroelectric storage. The main construction consists of the, I can call 4 lah. The first is upper reservoir. The second is lower reservoir. And then, if the hydroelectric, we can call this one is like penstock. Penstock or pipe lah with a high, tertentulah dia. After that in here, it's mentioned in here power hose. Mean in this power hose we have the generator. How about the operate? When, for example, this one is connected to the utility grid. When the electric is supplied from the utility grid, so this water in the lower reservoir is pumped by the water pumps. From the lower reservoir to the upper. Maknanya ada air yang bagian bawah, dia pump ke bagian atas. Inilah dia. Nah, ini maknanya ada dua pipe ataupun satu pipe yang boleh berfungsi untuk turunkan dan naikkan dia punya water in here. So when there is no supply electric from the utility grid, look at here. Let's say lah, ini boleh kita cakap lah, it is like the 4B. Maka ini dia punya valve dekat 4B ini kita buka. Dan air flow through this penstock and strike the water turbine. Water turbine connected to the generator, so generator produce the electric. Nah, in here we can call as the storage in here because water in here is stored in this upper reservoir. When one time this water in the upper reservoirs will be used, open this valve and to strike the water turbine. Nah, inilah dia sebab dipanggil dengan energy storage. So we want to the capacity energy can be produced by the system. The energy stored is proportional to the volume of the water V in the upper reservoir and the height of the waterfall H given by this question. EPHS is equal to rho G HP. Where EPHE is the storage energy unit in joule. Rho is density of the water, 1000 kg per meter power 3. G in here is acceleration due to the gravity, or gravity 9.8. And H in here is high waterfall. And V in here volume of the water storage in the upper reservoir. Look at here. Because you want to exactly the water is stored in the upper reservoir. So means in the upper reservoir, that it has the volume V. And between this upper reservoir and the lower reservoir, has the height of the waterfall here, how many meter? And then because, it is water has, density 1000 kilogram per meter power 3, and then the water can flow through here because there is gravity, so the energy produced by this system is given by rho GHP. This one boleh kan? Boleh Boleh pahamkan Okay, next, the type of the energy storage, including apa tadi? Electromechanical. The type is what we can call the compressed air energy storage. CAES. I read. CAES system are based on conventional gas turbine technology. Energy stored in the form of compressor air in an underground storage cavern at pressure between 40 to 70 bar at near ambient temperature. Another possibility is store the air in above ground tanks. The air is additional mixed with natural gas and combusted for increase the efficiency. When energy to be injected into the grid, the compressor air is drawn from the storage cavern. Heat and then expands instead of the high low pressure turbine, which convert most of energy of the compressor into rotational kinetic energy. Then the rotational energy is converted into electrical energy in generator. While driving the electrical generator, turbine exhaust is used to heat the air in the cavern. Okay, look at this illustrate. This one. I give in here. This one. This part we can mention as the gas power plant. Gas power plant, the main energy from the gas, natural gas. That capture from the bawah tanah, natural gas. It is type of the fossil fuel. Fossil fuel. Okay. When look at when this gas from this cavern is functioned to strike this gas turbine. So generator in here operate, yaitu normal operation of the gas power plant. And then this electrical energy from this gas electrical power plant is used to supply this motor. Look at this one, to supply this motor and to run this compressor. Compressor run. And then air that produced by this compressor is pushed in the cavern. Inilah dia. And then store in here. Store in here. Because there is mechanical also and also electrical. Now, this one we can call as electric mechanical energy storage. Especially for the compressor energy storage. This one lah we store in here in the cavern. And then when part of this section to combine the gas and air to supply the gas in this part. Inilah dia yang kita panggil dengan compressed air energy storage. And the other type of the electrical mechanical energy storage is flywheel energy storage system. FESS. I read first also. Flywheel store kinetic energy in the rotating disc that it is mechanical coupled to the shaft of the electrical machine. When the machine accelerates, that is operate as motor. Energy is transferred to the flywheel and stored in the form kinetic energy. In opposite term, the flywheel is discharged when the electrical machine regenerates through the drive. That is when the speed of the system is reduced. The energy storage flywheel given by this one 1/2 J omega 2. J in here is moment inertia. W in here is acceleration. Okay, please look at this figure. It is a part of the flywheel. Based on the energy storage system. This principle, please remember, like function of induction motor, induction machine. in one time the induction machine can operate as the motor and also as the generator for the asynchronous machine. This one. Now, so when this motor is supply electric, is supply electric means move lah. This motor move. Move, store kinetic energy in this flywheel. This one is flywheel. Store this one. And then when the other time, this flywheel can move. Can move. Mean motor before is supplied by electric to be motor, and here this motor is move. Now, so this machine can produce electricity. It is energy storage from the flywheel-based energy storage system. And then remember, when this motor has the moment inertia and has acceleration W, so the energy is given by the 1/2 JW power 2, this one, unit in joule. Okay, there are type of the electric mechanical energy storage. The first pumping hydroelectric system. The second is compressor air energy storage. The second is flywheel. The third is flywheel energy storage. Ada apa-apa soalan untuk yang ini? Ruben Tiran, Aiman, Nurliana, no juga, Korgui, Ahmad Husin, Nur Hafiza, tak ada juga. Tak ada mana yang paham boleh paham. Halo?
Boleh paham.
Boleh ya syukur, alhamdulillah. Terima kasihlah kalau boleh paham. Kalau tak ada yang tak paham, mana yang tak paham bagi tahu bagi soalan. Okay, next. The other type of the energy storage, what we can call as the electric magnetic. So in here the principle based on which we can also as the electromagnetic energy storage. Kita selalu kan mana yang boleh itu? Capacitor and inductor, kan? Capacitor and inductor. Terutamanya kalau kita tengok pada inductor lah, yang ada coil. Can be store energy. Capacitor between kalau dia punya coil kan dia punya coil flow through the current. Kalau capacitor dia punya anode and cathode, between anode and cathode kita punya voltage. Means in the inductor energy relate to the current, in the capacitor the energy relate to the voltage. Lihat ya. Ini kita boleh tengok. The energy storage from the tadi saya cakap electromagnetic. Electromagnetic. The first we can call as superconducting magnetic energy storage. SMES. Inilah yang tadi yang from the coil, ada belitan, inductor. Inductor. Ini yang inductor. In this type of the system, the energy is stored in the magnetic field. This magnetic field is created by a DC current flowing through a superconducting coil at cryogenic temperature. Superconducting material present almost negligible resistance while the cryogenic temperature. So the magnetic field in the coil can be created in the maintained with a very small amount of current flowing through it. Very little energy is dissipated by ohmic losses. The energy stored is determined by the self-inductance of the coil L. yeah, and the square of the electric current I given by the energy storage, yeah, superconducting magnetic energy storage is equal to 1/2, yeah, L I power 2. Nah, inilah dia punya bentuk ini dalam tank. Ya, if you want to produce the superconducting energy storage. Nah, so mana saya illustratekan saja kalau tadi itu dalam tank. In the tank we have the coil. Ya, the coil. Ya, the coil can be flowed by the DC current or AC current. Ya, or AC current. Mananya selalunya kalau DC we want to transfer, for example, transfer the energy power, ya, by using this coil, ya, for example, the wireless, ya, we can use the AC current, right? Because will produce, ya, flow current through the coil, ya, through the coil, and then following the right hand rule, ya, will produce the magnetic flux, ya kan? This finger is as direction of the current, and this thumb is as direction of the flux. Yeah, now so flux produce. Yeah, this one. Yeah, and then current flow through here, and this coil has inductance. Now, so the energy that the store by this coil given by 1/2 L inductance of inductor multiply power 2 of this current flow through this coil. Ya, dia punya energy storage dia yang dia store. Ya, boleh ya? Okay, and then the second type of the apa tadi, electromagnetic, yeah, what we can call as supercapacitor energy storage system. Yeah, supercapacitor are based on electrochemical cells that contain two conductor electrode, an electrolyte, and a various membrane that permits that the transit of ions between the two electrodes. The electrode and the electrode are electrically charged. The cathode is positively charged. Yeah, the anode is negative charged, and the electrolyte contains both positive and negative ion. Yeah, the magnetic, the electric potential V between the two layer, positive and negative ion, and each electrolyte interface, yeah, in conjunction with the resulting capacitance. Yeah, so energy storage in the capacitor given by this formula. Yeah, 1/2 Z C power voltage power 2. Yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah, please look at this illustrator. Yeah, this one is what we can call capacitor. Yeah, between it is anode and this one is cathode. Anode, cathode. Between anode and cathode, there is electrolyte material. Electrolyte material. Yeah. Now, so in here, yeah, also occur the chemical process, yeah, between anode and cathode. Anode, yeah, to flow the electron, means electron flow through anode to cathode. Yeah, in here. Now, so in here, what we can before, anode is negative charge ion, and the cathode is positive charge by the ion. If the current flow through like this one, yeah, if you connect to the connect to from the if the electron flow from the anode to cathode, now so inversely current flow from the cathode to anode. Yeah, this one. So between this layer or electrode, anode and cathode produce the voltage, in here voltage. And then capacitance of the capacitor given C, yeah, potential between anode and cathode V. Nah, so energy that can be stored by this capacitor given by the 1/2 voltage or potential anode and cathode multiply power to tadi multiply capacitance of the capacitor. Tadi boleh ya? Bagaimana dia boleh storekan dia punya energi, and then how many energy can be stored, relate to the formula. Okay. Hello everybody.
Oke, Dokter.
Oke Raja, yang lain?
Oke.
Oke, Afif ya? Oke, Aiman. Oke, boleh kita lanjut. The other type of the energy storage, what we can call before,
Boleh tuh.
Oke ya, Afif ya. Yang kita panggil sebelumnya electric electric chemical. Itulah yang tadi siapa cakap tadi? Battery. Aiman tadi ya. For example battery ya. Kita tengok. Ini ya battery. A battery energy storage system converts electrical energy into potential chemical energy while charging. And release electrical energy from chemical energy while discharging. It is based on the reduction and oxidation reaction, commonly called a redox reaction. An electrochemical reduction reaction is one that allows the component involved to gain electrons, while an oxidation reaction allows the component to lose electron. Redox reaction yields new active electrochemical action substance with non-neutral electric charge and hence ions. I read peselah. The energy capacity of the battery is defined as the usable energy at the defined this rate. This term is commonly indicated in ampere hours. It is important to understand the specific nomenclature commonly used while defining the energy capacity. For example, we could read in the datasheet the battery is rated 10 ampere hours at 2C. Or 10 ampere hours at C/5. In the second case, the battery will provide 10 ampere hours over 5 hours is equal to 2 amperes over 5 hours. Or 10 hours over 0.5 hours equal 20 ampere for 30 minutes. Okay, look at this one. Kita selalu guna battery. Selalu guna battery. Let's say battery yang boleh charge. Let's say battery yang boleh charge. Kalau battery yang tak boleh charge, itulah sebetulnya dia stokkan battery tadi yang kita beli hari-harian, lepas tu habis guna buang. Kan sebetulnya itu kan udah store energi dia. Kita kan hanya guna untuk discharge, to connect the load. Remember, same like the capacitor before, in the battery, there is two filament, what we can call as the anode and cathode. This condition almost same like the fuel cell. Sama ada between anode and cathode membran, and then kalau dia membran ini ada cecair ke atau apa Nah, in here, chemical process occurs. Nah, so same like before, capacitor and also fuel cell. This anode, if they connected to the load, anode will produce electron. Goes to this, dia punya cathode. Direction of the current inversely from the direction of this electron, means current flow through the cathode to anode, or we can mention also this cathode as positive terminal. Kalau kita tengok battery, and this anode is as negative terminal. Ya, this one. Ya, nih. Nah, this reaction that occurs inside of the battery, inside of the battery, what we can call as redox reaction. Mean there is in here, has balance reaction. Balance reaction. Balance reaction is mean number of atom or molecule in the left side should be same in the right side of the chemical reaction or reactants and product. This one. Remember, it is process. To charge and discharge of the battery. And then when we read a data sheet, selalu kan kita guna motorcycle, kita guna car, kereta, bateri berapa volt? Normally lah 12 volt. In the space of the battery, adakah dia dekat sininya, dia ada lekatkan 12 volt, how many ampere hours? How many ampere hours? Now, this ampere hours that we can call is as battery capacity. Battery capacity. This battery capacity indicates voltage, kan kita sudah tahu. Indicates kita mau guna berapa M untuk berapa hours. Atau kalau mau kita hanya guna, kalau kita mau kan guna battery ini mau kita habiskan dalam masa 1 jam ke atau 30 menit. Nah, so should be connected how many ampere of the load. Nah, itulah dia makna battery capacity yang unit dia bagi ampere hours. Itu ya? Boleh ya? Inilah yang mana dia cerita ini. Oke? Oke, kalau tak ada apa, we can continue. The next type of the electrochemical is hydrogen-based energy storage. I repeat also. The production of the hydrogen is pumps water electrolysis from the various forms of renewable energy. Once the hydrogen has been produced, it can be transported through pipeline to the users to produce electricity or stored in order to be used later in fuel cell. It is called regenerative fuel cell. The electrochemical reaction in fuel cell using proton electron membrane are depicted as follows. It is the reaction in anode, it is the cathode, it is the product. I explain after this. Okay, and then how many oxygen, hydrogen, air, and then water production given by this formula. It is formula for the A2 usage. This is formula for the air usage. It is formula for the hydrogen usage. And this one is water production. I explain. Fuel cell. Ini teringatnya sebetulnya ini tahun berapa? Tahun 3 ya? Ya Reza?
Ya betul, tahun 3.
Ya, tahun 3. After this, the 4th year, we have the subject EET 433, renewable energy. The renewable energy we touch fuel cell. Fuel cell. Now, fuel cell, for example, fuel cell start. Fuel cell start. Fuel cell start, same, convert chemical reaction to be electrical power or electrical energy. Ya, the famous type of the fuel cell ya yang kita panggil tadi proton action membrane. Ini ya, proton action membrane. This one. Ya, it is use the hydrogen as fuel and for the anode and the air ya oxygen enter to the cathode. You know, so I mean like this one. Hydrogen, yeah, meaning store in here hydrogen, yeah. Hydrogen can be stored. Store in what? In what place? Ya, kalau kita punya tank lah. Masukkan dia store in the tank. So the tank can be called as the hydrogen tank. Ya, lepas itu kan ada kita punya valve, dia punya valve juga, mau berapa pressure kita boleh keluarkan. Ya itu ya. And then how about to produce the hydrogen? Ya, that store in the tank. Ya, the hydrogen can be produced from the electrolyzer process. Ya, how about that? Can produce from the distilled water. Ya, distilled water. Beli aja distilled water dekat-dekat apa namanya nih? Apa yang jual-jual chemical itu ada. Jadi macam mana dia? Kalau ada ya small store, ya ini isi the distilled water juga. And then satu kita ada electrolyzer. Ya, this electrolyzer yes same connected to the can DC voltage. For example, it is a small process of the electrolyzer. Ya, in this part, ya, dia akan berubah, ada hidrogen. Nanti ada apa namanya itu? Gelembung-gelembung. Nah, itu mean produce the hydrogen. When it is connected to the fuel cell, means the anode of the fuel cell ya is entered by this hydrogen. Hydrogen. The hydrogen will process in the chemical reaction to be to be H positive. Ya, goes from the anode to the cathode. Ya, same between anode and the cathode in here membrane. Ya, and then same in here to here, if they connect to here, the electron flow from anode to the cathode. And then this cathode side ya enter O2 ya oxygen. Ya, tadi kan ada pergi, ada datang H positif, ada datang elektron, ada datang O2. Nah, so in this cathode ya occurs one process O2 plus H positive plus electron. Nah, so the product inilah yang tadi kita panggil ya, yang kita sebut ya produk bahwasanya H2 hidrogen plus oksigen yang tambah yang dimasukkan daripada cathode akan menghasilkan water. Ya, means the apa tadi ini? The process of the fuel cell ya that obtain hydrogen from the tank storage here ya will produce first electric. Ya, produce electric. The second produce water. The third produce also heat. Nah, water inilah yang kita selalu sama kayak aircon yang lepas, kita tampunglah itu dalam fuel cell ini. Nah, itu satu problem juga karena dihasilkan air. Ya. Nah, itulah. Nah, because this one we can call hydrogen based energy storage. Ya, because store in here mean hydrogen that can be stored in one tank, for example tank. Ya, this one. Nah, so we can call as the energy storage. Okay, so when the fuel cell needs hydrogen, how many hydrogen needed? Following this formulation, 1.05 multiplied 10 power minus 8 multiplied PE over VC. PE in here is electrical power. VC in here is cell voltage. Why? Because in this fuel cell stack, there are some cell that connected together in series to obtain the total voltage of this fuel cell stack. And PE is total power in one stack. Here. How many oxygen enter in the cathode given this formula? 8.29 times 10 power minus 8 multiply PE over VC. And then air, air 3.57 times 10 power minus 7 multiply PE over VC. And then water production by this fuel cell, is given by this formula, 9 times 34 times 10 power minus 8 multiply PE over VC. If you look at this formula, it is almost same, different only coefficient of the PE over VC, different only here, here, and here. Okay? Itulah untuk si hydrogen based fuel cell. The last energy storage that we can call as thermal energy storage. Thermal energy storage, system can store heat to be used later under varying conditions such as temperature, place, or power. In thermal energy storage system, energy is supplied to a storage system to be used at a later time involving 3 steps: charge, storage, and discharge. When the energy is stored, increasing the temperature of a storage material, sensible heat storage occur. The storage material can be water, air, oil, bedrock, brick, concrete. The amount of energy storage is calculated by this formula. Q mCV or multiply delta T. Q is amount of heat stored material in joule. And then M in here is mass, CV in specific heat, delta T is different temperature. So remember, like if we have the kalau kita bincang about the photovoltaic, that convert solar energy to be electricity energy. Kita di sini kita punya thermal solar thermal. Nah, macam itu solar thermal. Nah, means kalau dia solar thermal, or kita punya mana-mana lah yang kita mau mandi gunakan air agak hangat, swamp. Nah, itu Nah, so kita gunakan filamen juga. Nah, so in here there is process charge and discharge. Nah, this thermal energy storage like that lah. And then in here, same like we have discussed before, there is sensible heat. Sensible heat means we give the heat in the system. Before we give the water vapor in the system. Itulah yang kita panggil dengan thermal energy storage. Oke. Ada beberapa soalan? For this